Close your eyes and imagine a golden sun rising over the endless sands of ancient Egypt. The air is warm, tinged with the scent of desert dust and the faint aroma of Nile waters nearby. Far in the distance, the grand pyramids cast long, monumental shadows that stretch across the horizon like timeless guardians. You feel the heat on your skin and hear the soft rustle of sand carried by a gentle breeze. Among the workers at the base of the Grand Pyramid, there is a rhythm to the day. Men and women, young and old, move in unison, each carrying stones, measuring blocks, or preparing the mortar that will hold these mighty structures together. The weight of their labor is immense, yet there is a sense of purpose, a silent understanding that each stone placed brings humanity closer to immortality. The overseers walk the line with careful eyes, their staffs tapping the ground, marking the pace. Some workers bend over, sweat glistening on their sun-kissed skin, muscles taut from the effort. Others chant softly, the sound of voices harmonizing with the clatter of tools, creating a rhythm that echoes through the sands. It is hard work, but within this toil lies a strange beauty, a choreography of survival and endurance. Evening approaches, and the sun's light softens to amber. Workers gather around small fires, resting their aching limbs. Conversations flow in hushed tones, sharing stories of family, dreams, and the Nile's distant shores. Some speak of the mighty pharaohs who commissioned these wonders, imagining the divine favor they hope to receive. Others reminisce about childhood games in villages along the river, now far behind them. As night falls, the desert cools, and the workers retreat to shelters made of reeds and mud bricks. The pyramids loom silently, guardians of history yet to unfold. The men and women drift into sleep, wrapped in the simple comforts of furs or woven mats, their dreams carrying them beyond the scorching sands. They imagine themselves walking among gods, lifting stones that will endure through millennia, and witnessing a world that blends toil with wonder. This is the rhythm of life for those who build the pyramids, hardship softened by community, courage, and the quiet magic of human endurance. Sleep now, and let the stories of their labor, hope, and dreams carry you gently into your own slumber. The desert awoke slowly with the first light of dawn, painting the pyramids in hues of gold and rose. The workers stirred, their eyes heavy but determined, muscles sore yet ready to continue the endless task. Each step towards the pyramid was both literal and symbolic, a journey of sweat, endurance, and quiet resilience. Men carrying heavy limestone blocks moved in careful unison, their feet sinking slightly into the soft sand. The sound of hooves, wooden sledges, and chisels striking stone created a symphony of labor that seemed to stretch endlessly across the desert. Despite the hardships, a subtle camaraderie bound them together. Soft words of encouragement, shared water from simple clay jars, and glances that spoke of mutual understanding. The overseers watched intently, ensuring that the rhythm remained steady, that each stone was placed with precision. Some were strict, their eyes scanning every movement. Others offered nods of approval, small smiles acknowledging the effort. Yet, beneath the rigid order, there was a tacit respect. Every worker knew the importance of their role, and every overseer recognized the strength, skill, and dedication required. During breaks, the workers would gather in shaded corners, their laughter and stories providing brief relief from the harsh sun. Tales of childhood, distant rivers, and family homes shared in soft murmurs reminded them of life beyond the desert, weaving a tapestry of memory and hope. Even in toil, there was warmth, a sense of belonging to something greater than themselves, a purpose that stretched beyond the horizon. As the sun climbed higher, shadows shifted across the pyramid's base, tracing lines that seemed to mark not just stone but the passage of human effort. Each block lifted, dragged, and positioned held a silent testimony to determination and ingenuity. The workers, despite exhaustion, understood that their labor was part of an eternal story, a bridge between the present and immortality carved in stone. By the time evening returned, casting long shadows across the sands, the workers' bodies were weary, yet their spirits remained resilient. Fires were lit, small meals shared, and songs hummed in low melodic tones. Dreams awaited them, visions of completed pyramids, of gods smiling upon their efforts, and of futures shaped by the sweat and hands of those willing to endure. Night fell, and the desert became a quiet witness to their rest. The pyramids loomed in silent majesty, reflecting the moonlight as if acknowledging the sacrifices of the countless hands that shaped them. The workers slept, cradled by the warmth of community and the gentle rhythm of life in the shadow of timeless wonders. The night had fallen completely, and the pyramids stood like silent giants beneath the vast canopy of stars. Within their shadows, the workers dreamed, not merely of rest, but of the stones themselves, each one whispering secrets of ancient hands and timeless effort. The air inside the makeshift shelters was cool, scented faintly with sand, sweat, and the embers of dying fires. In their dreams, the workers walked along endless corridors of stone, feeling the weight of each block in their hands, sensing the rhythm of the construction echo through their muscles. Some imagined themselves as architects of gods, each movement precise, every stone a step closer to eternity. Others dreamed of family members long left behind, their laughter and voices mingling with the chants of labor during the day. The elders, seasoned by countless winters and relentless suns, understood the power of these nocturnal visions. They whispered to the younger ones before sleep, soft advice to carry into dreams, to respect the stone, to listen to the rhythm of the work, and to honor the strength of both body and spirit. These words floated in the air like gentle incantations, guiding the dreamers through landscapes both real and imagined. Outside, the desert lay bathed in silver moonlight. The pyramids glimmered faintly, reflecting the stars and the flickering fires that had been extinguished at day's end. Wolves howled in the distance, the wind traced soft patterns across the sand, and the whisper of shifting stones seemed almost musical, a lullaby for those who labored. Even in sleep, the workers were in harmony with the rhythm of the desert, the stones, and the legacy they were building. Some dreams took a fantastical turn. Stones lifted themselves as if by magic, guided by invisible hands, forming perfect shapes and grand corridors. Workers imagined themselves floating above the pyramid, surveying the expanse of labor, feeling a sense of pride and awe. In these visions, pain and fatigue dissolved, replaced by wonder and the silent joy of creation. As the night deepened, the desert's cold pressed against the walls of the shelters, but inside warmth remained. The bodies rested, the minds wandered, and the heartbeats synchronized with the subtle pulse of history being shaped in the sands. The pyramids, even in the darkness, seemed to recognize the dedication of those who touched them, each stone a testament to endurance, unity, and silent courage. By dawn, the first glimmers of sunlight would brush the desert, carrying the workers back into a new day of labor. Yet their spirits would remain nourished by dreams of stone, light, and the quiet majesty of creation. Morning spread slowly over the desert, casting long, soft shadows across the pyramid's base. The workers stirred from their dreams, muscles aching from yesterday's toil but hearts carrying the quiet pride of creation. Each movement was deliberate, measured, and in harmony with the collective rhythm of labor that defined their days. Heavy limestone blocks awaited transport. Men lifted and carried them with careful precision, their feet sinking into the warm sand, the sun already painting their skin with golden tones. Wooden sledges creaked under immense weight, guided by ropes pulled in unison. A chant rose softly from the workers' throats, a melodic cadence that synchronized every step, every heave, every careful placement of stone. It was a rhythm learned through experience, passed down from one generation to the next, uniting the laborers in a shared silent song. Overseers moved among the workers, their eyes both watchful and appreciative. They tapped staffs lightly against stone, signaling adjustments, shifts in pace, or small encouragements. Despite the harshness of the sun and the weight of duty, there was a quiet respect between overseers and laborers, a recognition that every hand, every effort, was essential to the grand vision towering above them. The young apprentices observed intently, learning not just how to move stone but how to sense the pulse of the work. Each shift in weight, each minor tremor of the sand, each echoing clack of stone on stone taught lessons in patience, endurance, and understanding of material. Their imaginations roamed freely even as their bodies followed strict discipline, blending the physical and the mental into a seamless education. During brief pauses, laughter and quiet conversation offered respite. Stories were shared, some recalling distant riverbanks, playful childhood memories, or the fertile lands left behind. Others spoke of the divine favor of the pharaoh, imagining the joy of the gods themselves witnessing their tireless effort. In these moments, the workers felt a connection not only to one another but to a greater continuum stretching across time, culture, and human experience. As the sun climbed high, shadows shifted across the pyramid steps, tracing geometric patterns that mirrored the precision of human hands. Every block set in place was both a challenge and a triumph, a testament to the perseverance and skill of those who dared to undertake the monumental task. And as evening approached, sweat-drenched bodies retreated to the temporary shelters, fires were lit, and the cycle of stories, songs, and shared warmth began anew. Nightfall brought the desert's cold, but within the shelters, the rhythm of life continued, gentle and enduring. Workers drifted to sleep with visions of the pyramid rising higher, the stones aligned perfectly, and dreams imbued with hope, pride, and the timeless magic of creation. The desert sun rose again, spilling golden light across the vast sands and illuminating the Great Pyramid as if it were a beacon of human determination. Workers emerged from their shelters, rubbing sleep from their eyes, muscles stiff yet resolute, ready to continue the monumental task. The air was crisp and dry, carrying whispers of sand and faint aromas of resin and stone dust. Each day followed a rhythm that balanced exhaustion with purpose. Stone after stone, block by block, the pyramid grew taller, each placement a testament to perseverance. The workers moved in coordinated harmony, their footsteps stirring small clouds of dust that shimmered in the sunlight. Even the youngest apprentices, their hands guided by experienced elders, felt the weight of legacy in every movement. The overseers paced along the pyramid's base, staffs tapping gently against stone to mark the flow of labor. Though their eyes were watchful, there were moments of appreciation, brief acknowledgments of effort that glimmered like sparks in the otherwise rigid day. In these glances, the laborers found silent encouragement, understanding that their skill and dedication were recognized by those who led them. Between the arduous labor, Workers stole moments of relief. They shared sips of water from clay jars, exchanged soft laughter, and whispered tales of distant lands, of fertile banks along the Nile, and of loved ones waiting beyond the sands. These moments nurtured not only bodies but spirits, reminding them that even in the midst of toil, beauty, memory, and connection endured. The stones themselves seemed alive under the sun's gaze, each one holding a story, a memory, and the potential for eternity. The workers, their hands roughened and bodies marked by effort, sensed the presence of time in these blocks. Each placement was precise, almost ceremonial, blending muscle and mind into a perfect unity of creation. The pyramid, step by step, rose higher, a monument not only to the pharaoh but to the human capacity for resilience and artistry. As evening fell, shadows lengthened and the desert cooled. Fires were rekindled, meals shared, and the soft hum of songs and stories filled the air. Workers rested, leaning against stone walls, feeling the satisfaction of the day's accomplishments. Their dreams, cradled by warmth and the fading light, carried them across deserts, through endless corridors of stone, and into visions of triumph and wonder. In the silent night, with stars scattered like diamonds across the sky, the pyramids stood as witnesses to human endurance. The workers slept, embraced by the rhythm of their labor, the warmth of the fire, and the gentle pulse of history being shaped beneath their hands. The morning light crept over the horizon, casting long golden beams across the desert sands. The pyramid, growing taller with each day, seemed to shimmer as if infused with the very essence of the sun. Workers stirred from their slumber, stretching aching limbs, and preparing once more for the rhythm of labor that awaited them. Heavy limestone blocks, hewn from distant quarries, rested in neat piles. Each block carried with it not only immense weight but the silent history of those who had carved and transported it. The workers, muscles taut and skin glistening with sweat, lifted, slid, and positioned the stones with careful precision. Every movement was deliberate, a careful negotiation between force and control, guided by years of experience and instinctive understanding of the material. Chants and soft murmurs rose, blending with the creak of sledges and the occasional clatter of stone against stone. The cadence of work was almost musical, each motion synchronized with the next, creating a flowing rhythm that pulsed through the desert air. Apprentices watched closely, learning the language of stone, the subtle shifts in balance, and the gentle art of measuring effort against endurance. Overseers, stern but fair, guided the workers with a mix of authority and subtle encouragement. Their staffs tapped lightly against the earth, signaling adjustments, shifts in direction, or small praises. Though strict, there was a mutual respect, workers understanding the necessity of guidance, overseers recognizing the skill and resilience of those under their watch. During brief pauses, workers shared water and whispered stories. Tales of distant riverbanks, children laughing by the Nile, and families waiting patiently in villages beyond the desert filled the air. Even amidst exhaustion, these memories provided warmth, comfort, and a sense of continuity. They reminded the laborers that their toil was part of a greater tapestry of life, stretching beyond the pyramid stones to the human experiences they cherished. As the sun climbed higher, shadows shifted across the steps of the pyramid, tracing geometrical patterns that mirrored the careful precision of human hands. Each stone lifted, dragged, and placed was a silent triumph, a testament to perseverance, ingenuity, and quiet courage. The workers moved with purpose, each aware that their efforts were immortalized in the rising structure, connecting them to both past and future generations. Evening returned, casting long, cool shadows over the desert. Fires were lit, simple meals shared, and the workers rested together. Muscles sore but spirits sustained. Dreams came easily, filled with visions of towering pyramids, shimmering desert sands, and the timeless dance between human labor and the eternal desert sky. Through the weight of stone and the rhythm of labor, the workers found endurance, connection, and a sense of purpose that transcended the hardships of the day, preparing them for the next sunrise and another day in the shadow of history. Dawn broke over the desert, spilling warm, amber light across the sands and glinting off the towering limestone blocks of the pyramid. Workers stirred from their modest shelters, bodies aching from previous days of toil, yet hearts steady with determination. Every stone carried weight not only in mass but in meaning, each a fragment of a dream that stretched across generations. The rhythmic chant of labor filled the air once more, blending with the subtle scrape of sledges and the occasional clang of chisels on stone. Muscles flexed and strained as the workers lifted, dragged, and carefully positioned each block, their movements guided by practiced precision. Young apprentices mimicked the elders, absorbing the silent language of endurance, the delicate balance between strength and control. Overseers moved among the laborers, their presence both watchful and instructive. Staffs tapped against the earth to signal corrections, pace adjustments, or brief nods of acknowledgement. Though their eyes were stern, the laborers recognized a shared purpose, a silent agreement that each hand, each effort, was essential to the magnificent structure growing above them. During short pauses, whispers and laughter floated across the desert. Stories of distant villages, rivers, and families provided comfort, mingling with memories of childhood games, past celebrations, and the quiet hope for the future. In these fleeting moments, workers found warmth beyond the fire's glow, a sense of connection that transcended the exhaustion of relentless days. The pyramid itself seemed alive under the sun's gaze, its surfaces catching light in shifting patterns that reflected both the skill of human hands and the passage of time. Every stone placed was a triumph, a testament to ingenuity and determination, and a silent dialogue between laborer and monument. In these moments, the workers glimpsed the extraordinary significance of their ordinary actions. As the afternoon sun began to dip, shadows stretched long and cool across the desert floor. The day's labor ended, but the rhythm of life continued. Fires were rekindled, simple meals shared, and songs hummed softly as night descended. The workers, wrapped in furs and mats, drifted into dreams filled with towering pyramids, golden sands, and the distant murmur of the Nile. Even in sleep, the laborers' minds remained entwined with their work, envisioning the stones rising higher, the structure growing more majestic, and the silent echoes of effort resounding through history. Each night, the pyramids stood watch over those who had built them, a quiet testament to endurance, skill, and the undying rhythm of human spirit. The sun rose slowly, casting soft golden light across the desert and illuminating the Great Pyramid as it reached ever higher into the sky. Workers emerged from their shelters, their bodies stiff and weary, yet their hearts steady with purpose. The air carried the faint scent of sand, resin, and the warmth of the fires that had burned through the night, a subtle reminder of both toil and comfort. Each worker moved with practiced precision, lifting heavy limestone blocks and guiding them into place. The wooden sledges groaned under the weight, their motion synchronized with the soft, steady chants that echoed across the desert. Apprentices followed the movements of the elders, their young minds absorbing the delicate balance of strength, coordination, and patience required for the task. Overseers walked among them, staffs tapping lightly to direct, correct, or encourage. Their presence was both authority and reassurance, a silent acknowledgement of the laborer's skill and endurance. Though the work was grueling, there was a shared understanding, a mutual respect that made each effort feel both meaningful and part of a greater story. During brief rests, water was shared, and whispered tales traveled from one worker to another. Stories of family waiting along the Nile, of past winters endured, and of distant villages provided warmth and comfort. Laughter sometimes floated across the sands, soft and fleeting, a delicate thread weaving together moments of humanity amidst the unyielding labor. The stones themselves seemed almost alive under the sun's gaze. Their weight and texture told stories of ancient quarries, of hands that had carved them, and of journeys across deserts. Each stone placed in the pyramid carried both physical and symbolic weight, a testament to the laborer's determination, skill, and silent pride. As the day waned and the sun began its descent, shadows stretched long and cool across the desert floor. The workers' bodies, heavy with fatigue, were soothed by the soft glow of fires and the simple comfort of shared meals. Night fell, and the desert grew quiet, except for the soft murmurs of those resting and the gentle rustle of wind across the sand. In their sleep, the workers' dreams intertwined with the rhythm of the pyramid. They envisioned stones lifting themselves as if by magic, corridors forming, and the structure rising toward eternity. Each night, as the desert held its breath, the pyramids watched silently over the tireless hands, honoring the unwavering spirit and quiet courage of those who labored within their shadows. The first light of dawn stretched across the desert, turning the sands into a sea of gold. The pyramid loomed higher each day, its sharp edges cutting into the sky like a monument to human perseverance. Workers emerged from their shelters, muscles aching yet hearts determined, ready once more to engage in the timeless rhythm of lifting, dragging, and setting the massive limestone blocks. The desert hummed with activity. Wooden sledges creaked, ropes strained under the weight of stone, and the soft chants of laborers echoed against the rising structure. Every movement was precise, coordinated, and necessary. Apprentices watched the elders with wide eyes, learning the delicate balance of strength and patience, the art of working not against the stone but with it. Overseers, standing tall and firm, guided the workers with gentle taps of their staffs. Their instructions were few but powerful, a mixture of command and encouragement. The laborers understood that each stone, each motion, and each breath was part of a larger vision, connecting them to the pharaoh's dream and the eternal rhythm of history. During moments of rest, the desert whispered stories. Workers shared water and murmured tales of villages by the Nile, of family members waiting patiently, of past celebrations and games. These stories, though small, carried warmth and comfort, binding the laborers together with invisible threads of humanity amid the harsh, unyielding desert landscape. The stones themselves seemed alive in the morning light. Their textures, colors, and weight spoke of ancient quarries, journeys across sun-scorched sands, and the hands that had carved them. Each block became more than a piece of limestone. It was a symbol of endurance, skill, and the silent determination of those who shaped it. As the sun climbed higher, shadows shifted across the pyramid, tracing geometrical patterns that mirrored the meticulous care of human hands. Each stone placed was a quiet triumph, a testament to both physical and mental fortitude. The workers moved in harmony, aware that their collective effort was immortalized in the structure rising beneath their hands. When evening descended, The desert cooled, and long shadows stretched over the sand. Fires were lit, meals shared, and the workers rested together, muscles sore but spirits lifted by the quiet beauty of achievement. Dreams took them through golden corridors, imagined halls, and the completed pyramid rising majestically against the sky. The night embraced the desert, and the pyramid stood silently, guardians of human effort, endurance, and courage. Within their shadows, the laborers slept, dreams mingling with the rhythm of creation, carrying them gently toward the next day of toil and wonder. The sun rose once more over the desert, spilling a warm golden glow across the endless sands and illuminating the ever-growing pyramid. Workers stirred from their slumber, stretching stiff limbs and taking in the crisp morning air. The pyramid's immense presence reminded them of the monumental task ahead, yet also instilled a quiet pride in their indispensable role. Limestone blocks, rough and heavy, awaited their careful hands. The laborers lifted, slid, and positioned each one with practiced precision. Wooden sledges groaned under the immense weight, their movements synchronized with soft, rhythmic chants. Every step, every heave, and every careful placement of stone was a testament to human endurance and quiet ingenuity. Apprentices mirrored the elders' actions, learning the language of labor through observation, repetition, and subtle guidance. Overseers moved with careful vigilance, staffs tapping to signal corrections, adjustments, or gentle encouragement. Though their eyes were keen and strict, they understood the skill, resilience, and dedication of the workers. A shared understanding lingered in the air. Each hand, each effort, was part of a greater story, a narrative that would echo through millennia. During brief pauses, water was shared, stories whispered, and laughter floated softly across the desert. Tales of villages along the Nile, families waiting patiently, and distant memories provided warmth and comfort. These moments of human connection offered respite from the harsh sun and heavy labor, a reminder of life beyond the pyramid and the enduring bonds between the workers. The stones themselves seemed to hum with history under the sunlight. Each one bore the marks of quarries, journeys across sands, and the hands that had carved them. Placing each stone required not only strength but patience and reverence. The workers moved in harmony with the material, sensing its weight and texture, feeling the rhythm of history beneath their fingers. As afternoon faded, long shadows stretched across the pyramid's steps. The day's labor drew to a close, yet the spirit of achievement lingered. Fires were lit, meals shared, and the laborers gathered in quiet camaraderie. As night fell, dreams carried them through imagined corridors, vast halls, and the completed pyramid, rising majestically under the moonlight. Within the silent desert, the pyramids stood as eternal witnesses. The workers slept peacefully beneath their gaze, their hearts aligned with the rhythm of creation, their minds filled with the quiet triumphs of labor, endurance, and the unwavering pursuit of something timeless. The desert awoke under a gentle sunrise, bathing the sands and the growing pyramid in soft gold and amber hues. Workers emerged from their shelters, bodies sore from yesterday's toil yet spirits steadfast, each aware that their labor contributed to something far greater than themselves. The pyramid, block by block, reached higher into the sky, a silent testament to human endurance and unity. Limestone blocks, cold and rough, awaited the skilled hands of the laborers. The workers lifted, dragged, and set them into place with meticulous precision. The wooden sledges groaned under the weight, moving in sync with rhythmic chants that rose and fell like a heartbeat across the desert. Young apprentices watched closely, learning not only the mechanics of the work but the subtle artistry of timing, balance, and silent cooperation that made the labor both efficient and graceful. Overseers moved among the workers, their staffs tapping lightly to correct, direct, or quietly commend. Though strict in demeanor, they recognized the talent and determination required for each action. A shared understanding existed in the shifting sands. Every hand, every motion, and every ounce of effort was vital, a single note in a vast, enduring symphony of creation. During short pauses, workers exchanged whispered stories of distant villages, childhood memories, and family awaiting their return along the Nile. These fleeting moments brought warmth and comfort, binding the laborers together through shared human experiences, laughter, and soft murmurs of hope. Even amidst relentless toil, these connections nurtured their spirits and sustained their resolve. The stones themselves seemed imbued with life. Their textures, slight imperfections, and the marks of countless hands told silent stories. Each stone, once lifted and carefully positioned, became part of a larger narrative, a testament to the laborer's skill, patience, and unyielding determination. Working in unison, the laborers felt an intimate connection with history, aware that their efforts would echo far beyond the desert sands. As the sun began its descent, shadows stretched long across the pyramid, painting intricate patterns on the desert floor. Fires were lit, meals shared, and workers rested, their bodies heavy but hearts buoyed by accomplishment. Dreams carried them across golden corridors, imagined temples, and the completed pyramid, a structure reflecting the tireless spirit and quiet courage of those who shaped it. In the night's gentle embrace, the pyramids remained ever watchful, silent sentinels over the laborers' dreams. Within their shadows, the workers slept, cradled by the rhythm of the desert, the warmth of companionship, and the knowledge that their hands were leaving a mark on eternity. Morning light crept gently across the desert, illuminating the pyramid's rising form and casting long, soft shadows over the sands. Workers stirred from their slumber, bodies stiff but spirits resolute. Each day brought renewed challenges, yet each block set in place carried not only weight but meaning, a step toward an eternal monument that would outlast generations. The limestone blocks, massive and rough-hewn, awaited careful hands. Men and women lifted, dragged, and positioned them with precise, synchronized movements. The wooden sledges groaned under the immense load, yet the coordinated rhythm of labor kept the flow steady, almost musical. Apprentices shadowed the elders, learning the unspoken language of timing, balance, and endurance that allowed these enormous tasks to unfold seamlessly. Overseers moved among the laborers with practiced authority. Their staffs tapped lightly to signal corrections, shifts in pace, or small commendations. Though strict, they understood the value of patience, guidance, and encouragement. In the eyes of each laborer, there was recognition that their effort mattered, not just to the pharaoh or the pyramid, but to a legacy being written in stone and sand. During brief pauses, workers shared water and whispered stories of distant villages, family awaiting their return, and tales of the Nile. Laughter and soft conversation offered comfort and respite, reminding them of the human connections that endured beyond the harsh desert sun and heavy labor. In these moments, spirits were rejuvenated, hearts lightened, and bonds strengthened. The stones themselves seemed to hum with history. Each bore marks of quarries, ancient hands, and journeys across the sands. Setting each stone required not only strength but reverence, awareness, and a connection to the unseen threads of time. Every placement echoed with quiet triumph, reflecting the harmony between human effort and the monumental structure they were shaping. As the sun dipped lower, shadows stretched across the pyramid steps, painting intricate patterns that mirrored the precision of human hands. Fires were lit, meals shared, and workers rested together, muscles sore but hearts lifted by shared achievement. Dreams carried them through imagined corridors, vast chambers, and the completed pyramid, rising majestically beneath the starlit sky. Night embraced the desert, cool and serene. The pyramids stood as silent witnesses to the endurance, courage, and artistry of those who had toiled beneath their gaze. Within their shadows, workers slept peacefully, their dreams entwined with the rhythm of creation, their spirits nourished by the quiet triumphs of labor, and their hearts aligned with the eternal pulse of history. Dawn painted the desert with hues of amber and gold, the pyramid towering higher with every passing day. Workers stirred from their modest shelters, their bodies sore but spirits steady, preparing for another day of toil beneath the vast sky. The air was crisp, carrying faint scents of sand and resin, reminders of both hardship and the rewards of labor. Limestone blocks lay ready, immense in size and weight. Men and women moved as one, lifting, dragging, and setting each stone with a rhythm honed over countless days. Wooden sledges groaned beneath the weight, ropes pulled in unison, and soft chants rose across the desert like a heartbeat, guiding each movement and synchronizing the laborers' efforts. Apprentices observed attentively, absorbing not only the mechanics but the artistry, patience, and intuition required to work in harmony with both stone and sand. Overseers walked deliberately among the workers, staffs tapping lightly to signal adjustments, corrections, or quiet commendations. While strict, their gaze acknowledged the skill, endurance, and dedication that each laborer brought to the pyramid. A shared understanding prevailed. Every motion, every ounce of effort, contributed to something far greater than any individual, weaving a silent story of resilience and craftsmanship. Brief pauses brought relief and quiet companionship. Water was shared, laughter exchanged, and whispered stories traveled between workers. Tales of family along the Nile, distant childhood memories, and small moments of joy offered warmth amidst the relentless demands of the desert sun. These fleeting connections nourished the spirit, reminding laborers that their toil was interwoven with human life and legacy beyond the pyramid. The stones themselves seemed alive, resonating with the hands that had shaped them and the journeys they had endured. Each carefully positioned block became part of a greater narrative, a testament to human perseverance, ingenuity, and quiet pride. As the pyramid rose, the laborers sensed the convergence of time, effort, and vision, an invisible thread linking them to generations past and future. As the sun began its descent, shadows lengthened across the sands, the pyramid's geometry glowing with soft light. Fires were lit, meals shared, and workers rested, their bodies weary but spirits buoyed by accomplishment. Dreams carried them through imagined halls, golden corridors, and the completed pyramid, rising majestically beneath the starlit sky. Nightfall enveloped the desert, serene and quiet. The pyramids stood sentinel over those who had built them, silent witnesses to labor, endurance, and timeless determination. Within their shadows, workers slept peacefully, their dreams intertwined with the rhythm of creation, their hearts aligned with the eternal pulse of history, and their spirits resting in the quiet pride of their work. Morning light stretched over the desert, revealing the pyramid's towering silhouette against the vast expanse of sand and sky. Workers stirred from their shelters, bodies stiff from previous days of labor, yet hearts steady with the purpose instilled by their shared mission. Each block placed was a step closer to eternity, a mark of human perseverance etched into the fabric of time. Limestone blocks, massive and uneven, awaited the hands of the laborers. Men and women lifted, dragged, and carefully set each piece into its precise position. The wooden sledges creaked under the immense weight, while ropes pulled in rhythm with low chants that guided the workers' movements. Apprentices shadowed experienced laborers, absorbing the nuanced dance of strength, balance, and patience required to harmonize with both the stone and the desert. Overseers moved thoughtfully among the workforce, staffs tapping to signal adjustments, corrections, or brief commendations. Though firm, their presence conveyed understanding and acknowledgement of the skill and endurance demonstrated by each worker. A mutual respect existed, silent yet profound. Every stone lifted, every block positioned, was part of a greater vision that bound the present to the timeless future. During brief rests, water was shared and whispered stories exchanged. Tales of villages along the Nile, of families waiting patiently, and of cherished memories brought warmth and lightness to the laborers' spirits. Even in the harsh desert sun, these moments of human connection nourished the soul, offering reminders that their work was woven into the larger tapestry of life. The stones themselves seemed alive, resonating with history and the hands that shaped them. Each block carried not only weight but the memory of quarries, distant journeys, and laboring hands. Placing each stone required strength, reverence, and a sense of purpose. Every carefully set block became a testament to human determination, skill, and quiet pride. As the sun dipped toward the horizon, shadows stretched long across the pyramid steps, illuminating the patterns etched into stone by human effort. Fires were lit, simple meals shared, and workers rested together, bodies weary but spirits buoyed by accomplishment. Dreams carried them through imagined corridors, massive halls, and the completed pyramid, rising majestically beneath a sky scattered with stars. The night embraced the desert with calm serenity. The pyramid stood sentinel over the laborers' rest, silent witnesses to courage, endurance, and artistry. In their shadows, the workers slept peacefully, dreams intertwined with the rhythm of creation, and hearts aligned with the enduring pulse of history, resting in the quiet triumph of their hands and the eternal echo of their labor. Dawn broke across the desert, bathing the sands and the rising pyramid in soft, golden light. Workers awoke from their slumber, bodies stiff and sore, yet hearts filled with resolve. The pyramid, stone by stone, rose higher, reflecting the sun's rays and the tireless labor of countless hands, each movement echoing through time. The limestone blocks lay ready, immense and demanding, awaiting the careful coordination of lifting, dragging, and positioning. Wooden sledges creaked and groaned, moving in rhythm with the low, harmonious chants of the workers. Every step, every heave, and every careful placement of stone became a small victory, a testament to both human endurance and the artistry of teamwork. Apprentices observed intently, learning the rhythm, patience, and silent language that guided the laborers' hands. Overseers moved deliberately among the workers, their staffs tapping lightly to indicate adjustments, guidance, or quiet praise. Though firm, they understood the skill and resilience required to perform each task with precision. A shared understanding persisted among all. Every effort contributed to the greater vision, and each stone placed was a step toward something eternal. During short breaks, water was shared, and soft murmurs of stories traveled across the sands. Tales of distant villages, families waiting along the Nile, and fleeting memories provided warmth and connection, anchoring the laborers' spirits amidst the harsh sun and strenuous labor. Laughter sometimes floated gently over the desert, a small thread of humanity weaving through the rhythm of toil. The stones themselves seemed to hold a quiet power. Their rough surfaces bore the marks of quarries, journeys across deserts, and the skilled hands that had shaped them. Each block, once placed, became more than limestone. It became a part of history, a testament to the determination and artistry of the workers. Their movements, synchronized and precise, were a dance of endurance, strength, and silent pride. As the afternoon waned, long shadows stretched across the pyramid steps, highlighting the patterns and geometry formed by countless hands. Fires were lit, meals shared, and workers rested, muscles heavy but spirits uplifted by shared accomplishment. Dreams carried them through imagined halls, towering chambers, and the completed pyramid, a monument rising majestically under the starlit sky. Night fell, wrapping the desert in tranquility. The pyramids stood as eternal witnesses, guardians of the laborers' courage, artistry, and dedication. Within their silent shadows, the workers slept, dreams intertwined with the rhythm of creation, hearts aligned with the pulse of history, and spirits resting in the quiet satisfaction of their tireless efforts. The morning sun rose gently over the desert, spilling golden light across the sands and illuminating the pyramid, now towering with majestic completeness. Workers stirred from their shelters, bodies weary from countless days of toil, yet hearts brimming with anticipation and quiet pride. Today they approached the final stones, each placement a culmination of effort, patience, and the unwavering rhythm that had carried them through countless days beneath the sun. The massive limestone blocks awaited, rough and commanding, their weight both a challenge and a testament to the laborers' resilience. Hands that had grown calloused and strong over weeks and months lifted, guided, and set the stones with practiced precision. Wooden sledges creaked under the enormous weight, and the coordinated chants of the workers rose and fell like the heartbeat of the desert itself. Apprentices, once wide-eyed observers, now moved with confidence, their understanding of balance, timing, and respect for the stone fully realized. Overseers moved among the workers, staffs tapping lightly to guide, correct, or quietly commend. Their eyes reflected the gravity of the moment. The final stones represented not only the completion of the pyramid but the legacy of generations. The laborers, united in purpose, felt a shared triumph, a quiet reverence for the work that would outlast their lifetimes. Even brief pauses carried significance. Water was shared, laughter floated softly across the sands, and stories whispered of families, home villages, and hopes for the future. These small moments nurtured spirits, reminding everyone that their toil was not solitary, but part of a living tapestry of human life and connection. The final stones, like the ones before them, seemed imbued with history. Their surfaces bore the memory of quarries, distant journeys, and hands that had carved them. As they were carefully set into place, a hush fell across the workers, a moment suspended in time. Each stone became a bridge between past and future, between labor and legacy, between human endurance and the eternal rhythm of creation. As the sun began to set, casting long, soft shadows across the desert, the pyramid stood complete, a towering monument to courage, skill, and unity. Fires flickered, meals were shared, and the workers gathered, bodies exhausted but spirits alight with achievement. Dreams carried them through golden corridors, imagined chambers, and the glory of the finished structure, rising proudly beneath the starlit sky. Night enveloped the desert in serenity. The pyramid stood silently, eternal witnesses to the tireless hands that had built them, the endurance of the human spirit, and the quiet triumphs of countless days. Within the shadows, the laborers slept peacefully, their hearts aligned with the rhythm of creation, their spirits cradled by accomplishment, and their souls connected to a legacy that would echo through eternity.